What's going on, everybody? It is Charlize Walker of Lisa's Business Enterprise here with another nonprofit knowledge tip. And I'm going to be talking about required disclosures for public inspection. Yes, there are required disclosures of your documentation of your nonprofit for public inspection. So, as a 501c3 organization, you do have a responsibility to keep certain documents on hand and available for public viewing. And before I get started, be sure to grab my free nonprofit business binder checklist because some of these, I don't want to say some, all of these forms that I'm talking about is on this checklist, and more items are on the checklist that you should have for your binder. So let's get right into it. Charlize, what is the disclosures? What is the documents I'm supposed to have on file for public inspection? So yes, if somebody asks you for certain documents, these documents that I'm going to talk about are required to have on file, and you must be able to provide them for public inspection. So let's get right into it. Number one, your Form 1023 or 1023, your exemption application, and all supporting documents that you send. Yes, this is the exemption application you submitted to the IRS when you filed for your 501c3. And number two is your 501c3 determination letter. Yes, you're supposed to have that later on file. Somebody will say, I want to see it. You'll give it to them. Number three is your 990 annual information return. So Form 990 schedules except for portions of Schedule B, your attachments and supporting documents, and you must have up to, I don't want to say up to, you must have 3 years worth of 990s. This includes if you file, Form 990 or 990 EZ, your 990 PF, or any forms of the 990T, and including any extensions you may have asked for. So the organization can charge, though, a reasonable fee for providing copies, but it cannot charge no more for the copies than the per page rate the IRS charges for providing copies. So the IRS has this Freedom of Information Act fee schedule. And so within this schedule, they charge, you must go by this rate. So they charge for black and white copies 10 cents per page, and for color pages 20 cents per page. So the organization can also charge a postage cost it pays for provide copies. So you're like, wait a minute, Charlize, postage. Yes, if somebody calls you up, ring, 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 and say, hey, I would like copies of that, your IRS determination letter, and they say, well, I'm not in the area. Can you mail it? Yes, I can mail it. I can manual copy for I can charge you to copy it, and I also have to charge you the postage fee, which is not that much, but okay. But one other thing that you can do, you may place a reasonable restrictions on the time, place, and manner of in-person inspection and copying, and you may charge a reasonable fee for providing copies. So if you're anything like us, my nonprofit is, we don't have a public office. So one, you can place a time or restriction, like, hey, you're not going to have everybody come over to my place, or maybe I can meet you at the virtual office location at this time. This is the only times that we have, and then you do have to pay a fee if you need copies up front, something like that. And one thing, especially for the 501c3 determination letter, if you have an online presence, if you have a website or something like that, make a link or something to it, to your 501c3 determination letter. That's one thing you can just, eliminate. But, it's other ways to get your 501c3 determination anyway. They may not know how, but that's one thing you can eliminate automatically. So, but Charlize, what if I don't want to get them? You do have to. It's required. But if you fail to provide the documents, there are penalties that you can incur. So If the penalty for failure to allow public inspection of an annual return, it is $20 for each day the failure continues, for a maximum penalty of all persons for failures involved in any one return is $10,000. But the penalty for failure to allow public inspection of an exemption application is $20 per day. If the failure continues, the penalty to failure the exemption application is $5,000 for each return or application. The penalty also applies to a willful failure to provide copies as well. So I know that's something that you probably don't even put in your budget. Like, oh, I'm just going to put, no, you're not. No, you don't have the room for it. So just go ahead and provide it as required. And then for more information on this, definitely, I've told you this before. This is IRS publication 4221 PC. You can Google it. You can go to the IRS website. You can download it as a PDF. Again, this came free when I first filed for my 501c3. For full details, go to publication 557. It will have full details on it and other information in there as well. So I will have the links to both of that below, and also my free nonprofit business binder checklist. Thank you. And if you need any nonprofit startup nonprofit consultation, definitely reach out to me as well.